What if I told you that a quiet day in a beloved park would turn into a mystery that would change everything? And that a committed park ranger would embark on a journey of shocking disclosures after discovering an apparently common nest. Stay with me until the very end, because every twist, clue, and surprising moment in this incredible story will be revealed. You won't want to miss a single aspect of this engrossing journey into the hidden world right in our own backyards. Tim was a devoted park ranger who had spent years following the same scenic routes, keeping a careful eye on the area's natural habitats and species, observing animal movements, studying water sources, and appreciating the beauty of his surroundings. He relished the simple pleasures of nature every day. However, nothing could have prepared him for what he would soon discover: a nest that would cause him to go pale with shock and make him flee the area, beginning a chain of events that would eventually lead to the disclosure of a hazardous secret and a full-fledged police inquiry. It started off like any other day. Tim was going about his routine when he came onto a tree that had long been the location of a bird's nest, and the air was filled with the sound of chirping birds. For many years, this nest had served as a silent and reliable reminder of the park's life cycle. But something was different today, none of the usual happy chirping. As Tim approached the tree, he noticed that the birds' joyful calls had given way to an eerie quiet. His pulse began to race as he looked closer and noticed that not a single bird was visible. His curiosity quickly turned to concern when he saw that the once vibrant nest was now completely empty. Tim's first thought was, "What happened here?" And a sense of dread started to set in. He decided to go, not knowing what he was seeing, but promising himself that he would come back the next day to see if the nest still appeared to be empty. Driven by an unshakable sense of urgency, Tim returned to the tree before dawn the next day. The cool morning air and soft light of the rising sun made the image almost dreamlike, but as he got closer, his concern grew. The ground beneath the tree had strange imprints on it that he had never seen before, and that were unquestionably not caused by any of the animals he was familiar with. These clues chilled him to the bone, and he immediately began to piece together what he had witnessed in an effort to make sense of the mystery unfolding before him. With a heavy heart and a racing mind, Tim looked around the tree, looking for anything that would explain the unsettling emptiness of the nest. He found no feathers or signs of injured birds, only a strange, eerie silence and marks that indicated human action. Tim realized that something was very wrong and that he had to do something about it. He hurried down and picked up his phone to call the cops. However, he received a disdainful response when he explained the situation, presuming it was probably a stray incident caused by an animal. The authorities on the other end of the phone instructed him to simply keep an eye on it. Their informal tone, which seemed to minimize the gravity of the situation, only served to increase Tim's anxiety. Frustrated and determined, he decided that if nothing changed the next day, he would take additional action himself. This was no ordinary incident, and Tim had a strong feeling that something far worse was lurking beneath the surface of the quiet park. Over the next few days, Tim started his own in-depth analysis. He returned to the tree again and again, carefully examining the ground and the area around the nest. He began documenting every detail, taking photos of the strange markings, documenting the tracks that were not those of any known animal, and gathering abandoned items that didn't seem to belong there. A mental picture gradually emerged. These were obvious signs of human influence rather than random occurrences. His senses told him that someone had been tampering with the nest, and he was determined to find out who it was. Every bit of evidence he collected added credence to his suspicions, which invariably painted a picture of deliberate interference. Tim's own investigation soon led to a startling discovery. He was keeping a close eye on the area surrounding the tree, when he saw a pattern in the marks on the ground that indicated someone was not only present but was deliberately hiding their activities. He could see strange footsteps, tiny tool marks, and even parts of what seemed like equipment that had been abandoned. These clues all pointed to something far more deliberate than the destructive deed of a lone bystander. It was as if a secret operation was happening right in front of him. When Tim realized how important this proof was, he organized his findings carefully. He took detailed images, noted the time and date of each observation, and summarized all he had discovered in a clear and concise report. Now that he had his evidence, he called the police again and asked them to take his findings into account. This time, the authorities couldn't disregard his concerns. They were convinced by the compelling evidence that Tim had gathered and agreed to collaborate with him to carry out a more thorough investigation into the mysterious nest. The perpetrators of what was now clearly a well-planned plot were to be caught via a sting operation. Tim's collaboration with the police marked a turning point in the investigation. Finally, the gravity of the situation was recognized, and steps were taken to determine what caused the disturbance. When officials discovered a cache of rare animal eggs hidden within the nest during the sting operation, everyone involved was shocked. These eggs, which were not indigenous to the region, indicated that illegal wildlife smuggling was threatening the fragile balance of the local environment. A group of smugglers was found to have been using the park as a secret site to gather and transport these rare eggs, endangering already endangered animals. The overwhelming evidence led to the smugglers' swift capture. Their arrest, which shocked the area and brought attention to how important vigilance is to preserving our natural environment, validated Tim's relentless efforts to uncover the reality behind what initially appeared to be a straightforward, empty nest. After the study, the park gradually returned to its natural pace. As the birds began to return and fill the air with their joyful chirps, the once disturbed area was gradually restored to a peaceful, natural sanctuary. Tim's research not only uncovered a significant illegal operation, but also stopped further harm to the local ecosystem. His perseverance serves as a powerful reminder that one person can make a big difference and that protecting the environment is essential. I truly appreciate that you watched the entire video. If you enjoyed this in-depth look at the amazing investigation that started with an empty nest and led to a significant advancement in wildlife protection, please hit the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and subscribe for more captivating content that uncovers the hidden stories behind everyday occurrences. We value your support and are eager to tell you more stories that inspire you to think critically about the world and take action when something doesn't feel right. Keep in mind that the simplest things can frequently expose the biggest mysteries, so stay vigilant and inquisitive.